Standing at a height of 1,115 feet, approximately 340 meters, Nohkalikai Falls is India's tallest plunge waterfall. It is located in the northeastern region of India near Sohra, popularly known as Cherrapunjee, which happens to be one of the wettest places on earth. People throng this place from all over India as well as other countries, as it is filled with many beautiful waterfalls and breathtaking landscapes. The tribal community in this area are known as the Khasis. What makes this fall special is due to the legend that is connected with it, which has been passed down through the years. It is connected to one of the most heart-moving tragic stories in Khasi culture, which ultimately led to the present name it possesses today. This is a story of the legend of Likai and her tragic story. Once upon a time long ago, there lived a woman by the name of Likai in a place called Rangjyrteh near present-day Sohra. She lived a life of poverty, but she was a very active and hard-working woman. Her life, however, turned from bad to worse in an instant when her husband suddenly died, leaving her with an only infant daughter. She was filled with sorrow over the death of her husband, as now she will have to be the sole provider for herself and her daughter. She worked hard and struggled to give her daughter the privilege of a daily decent meal. As time passed by, her daughter grew up and learned to speak and was able to walk and play. This made Likai very happy, and she loved her child as much as any mother would. Her child filled her lonesome life with wondrous joy and happiness which she had never felt in a long while. She wanted to give her the best possible life, but she did not have the means to do so. So, she decided that she would remarry again in order to ease her burdens and give her child a father to bear responsibility and provide her with everything that she deserves. However, the man she married turned out to be a very lazy, mean and selfish person. And when he saw Likai's undying love for her child, he became bitter and hateful towards his stepdaughter. He never worked and was always lazing around at home, depending on whatever Likai was able to earn. Likai was devastated at her misfortunes. She thought by remarrying she would find a partner that would help ease her sufferings. Instead, she found a man leeching off of her. But she kept on with him and accepted her fate. One day, Likai got work as a porter that took her quite far from a village, and she left her daughter with her husband. This was the opportunity that the stepfather had always wanted. So when all the neighbors and people had gone off to work, he killed and butchered Likai's daughter and cut her into pieces. He threw away her bones and skull in a secluded area outside of the village, and with her meat, he prepared and made curry. And as evening approached, he bolted the door and ran away. Eventually, Likai returned from her work and was surprised to find no one at home. She called out to her daughter, but there was no response. So she asked some of her neighbors as to her daughter's whereabouts, but they too had no clue. She assumed that her husband might have taken her out for the day. As she had been working hard the whole day, Likai was starving, so she decided she would eat some food first and then continue her search for her daughter. And as she entered the kitchen, she saw the meat that was already cooked and was surprised and wondering to herself, she thought, from where might the husband got all this meat, knowing full well of her own financial situation. But as she was famished, she did not hesitate and started eating the prepared food. And when she was done eating, she sat by the fireplace and took a basket containing betel nuts and leaves in order to eat them, as is the habit of the tribal people. But to her shock and horror, she found 2 fingers of a small child in it. A spine-chilling quiver ran throughout her body, and as she further investigated near the light of the fire, she realized that the 2 decapitated fingers belonged to her only beloved daughter. At this realization, her heart pounded rapidly, and images of her daughter's happy, smiling face, playing and running about in the yard, flashed before her eyes, and she screamed in anger and despair. She cried uncontrollably as she threw herself to the floor and pulled at her hair. She ran out of her hut, brandishing a hatchet in hand like an insane woman. The neighbors, hearing her cries, came out to inquire and asked her as to what had happened. She replied back, "What is the use of living this torturous and cruel life? My husband has betrayed me and cooked my beloved child, and he made me consume my own daughter. It's better to die than to live this cruel and vicious life." The heartbroken neighbors, hearing her words, tried to console and comfort her, but she was inconsolable. She ran away from them and wielded her hatchet against anyone who approached her. She swiftly ran towards the mouth of the waterfall, which was then known as and she ended her life by plunging into the depths of the falls. Thus, from then onwards, this fall has been renamed Nohkalikai Falls in memory of Likai, who suffered a life of tragedy, always reminding us of the cruelty she had faced at the hands of her husband.